Porsha, now why is it that you are so upset at the thought of your baby daddy Dennis filming with Drew, but when you make a comment saying that you want to do something else that starts with an F to a fellow housewife's husband, oh, it's just a key. What's the problem? It's just a joke. Girl, are you okay? Let's talk about it.
Roxiie says we're gonna talk about it.
What's up, y'all? It's your girl Roxiie with Roxiie Says, and we're going to talk about it today. We are reviewing The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 16, Episode 9. We already at Episode 9, y'all, okay? This was a good episode. I enjoyed it. I was very irritated by a couple of people. We're going to get into it. But before we do, please don't forget to hit like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure that you hit that notification bell, baby. We are so close to 35K. Like, so close. I can taste it. Please do your big one for me in this review. Hit subscribe. I really appreciate it, okay? And hit like too, all right? So let's get right into this review. So this episode opens up, and we have 3 different scenes going on, okay? So in one, we have Cynthia. She's getting caught up with Kelly and Shamea regarding all of the shenanigans that happened at the little after party by the pool because, you know, TT, she went to bed early, okay? And then we also see Cynthia. She's at Angela's place where Angela is telling her version of what happened. And then we gonna see Cynthia speaking to Porsha about it, okay? That's the scene that irritated me the most of all. So Shamea and Kelly, they tell Cynthia all of the tea that they were discussing about Angela and Charles and how Charles had a baby on Angela. And then Shamea smiles to Kelly and she says, and then what else was said? And Kelly jumps in and she confirms that Porsha did say that she would Charles, okay? So it's settled. Kelly confirmed it. Shamea confirmed it with a huge smile on her face. She thought it was real cute, real funny, all right? So then Shamea pulls out her phone and she reads a text message that Angela sent to her earlier saying that she did not appreciate the disrespect that she witnessed that night. And this is a fake ass sisterhood. And she says that it's very clear to her now that the morals and values of her and these other ladies absolutely do not align at all. So next we run over to Angela's house and we see her telling Cynthia pretty much the same thing that happened during the night. And she also tells them that she heard the ladies calling her Big Bird and she does not appreciate any of the comments that were made during that little after party. Next, we see Cynthia chatting with Porsha, okay? And of course, when Porsha is confronted, she punks out and she says, you know what? I don't even remember saying it. I don't even remember saying it. Okay, girl, but you did. But you did, and you don't seem too sorry about it. And even when we get to the end of the episode, you still not gonna feel sorry about it, but we gonna get there in just a second, okay? So Cynthia is just laughing about it while Porsha is talking. Now, Cynthia, you see that little line that you've been saying all season? Baby daddies hit different. Baby daddies hit different regarding Drew just filming with Dennis. But Porsha is saying that she would someone's husband, and you're just over there yucking it up like it's funny, right? I don't want to hear you say that shit again. We don't want to hear it. And if you think that baby daddies hit different, Charles is Angela's husband. How is that supposed to hit? Wouldn't that hit harder, right? That is this woman's husband. Let Porsha say, ooh, you know what? Leon is still fine. I will go over there and him. You would have an issue with it, and y'all haven't been together since what, 1999? Porsha is now swearing up and down that she would never, ever, ever F anyone's husband, and she says that she knows nothing about Charles, nor will she repeat what she has recently learned. Girl, whatever. Girl, whatever, because you already know that your little girls, Shamea, Kelly, and Brit, are gonna bring it up for you, all right? We already know that you have put them on assignment, and they take their duties very seriously, very seriously. So after that, we fly back over to Cynthia, Shamea, and Kelly, and Cynthia tells them that she is having her annual Bailey Q. Usually she has it on the 4th of July, but this year she wants to have it on Juneteenth, and she's going to have a prophetess there as well, but she is hoping that everything goes smoothly with the ladies considering everything that has transpired recently, okay? So next we see Kelly. She's having a little birthday party for her dog, Cha-Cha. She says that her dog gets her hair dyed, she gets her lashes done, she gets her nails painted, and all of this costs well over $1,000. And while I was watching this scene, my puppy, she looked up at me like, and the side eye that she gave me for the rest of the night was pretty much giving, girl, where's my pedicure? Where's my manicure? Where are my lashes? All right. Anyway, we see Brit. She brings her little dog Mimosa over and they step off to have a side conversation. So Brit is telling Kelly that her mom is moving in the next 30 to 45 days and her sister Cher is coming over to help her pack her mom's house up. Remember, Brit and Cher have had their issues, but we saw them have a little lunch date and they say that they're cool now. But I don't know if Cher is cool with the sister and the mom because remember, remember she had issues with them as well. So we gonna see in a little bit. So Brit tells Kelly that after the whole Kenya situation, although her and her sisters were beefing, they did reach out to her and they've been very supportive of her. Whatever, we don't care. All right. So Kelly says that she's doing well. And she also tells Brit about Cynthia's Juneteenth Bailey cue, and she hopes that everything goes smoothly at that event. Child, next we are at Porsha's house, and she has gifted Pilar with a puppy, and she's hoping that this puppy can compensate for her energy being off due to her and Simon's divorce. Honestly, I do not like when people buy pets for kids that young, unless that parent is going to make sure that they, the parent, right, has the time and means to take care of that pet, because we know a child of PJ's age is not going to really take care of a pet the way that it needs to be cared for, right? So anyway, Porsha also says that PJ is now coming to the age where she's asking for siblings, and she doesn't know where she can buy a sibling for PJ. Has PJ really asked you any of this, or are you just talking? Because we know you just be saying stuff. So after she's done gifting PJ with a puppy, we see her, Diane, and Lauren. They step off into the kitchen. Porsha talks briefly about her divorce with Simon, and then she talks about her birthday in Nashville and the call that just absolutely ruined everything for her, where she was informed that Dennis and Drew had been filming together, right? Girl, you ruined your own birthday. You ruined your own birthday. Meanwhile, you talking about f***ing someone else's husband, but you know what? Okay, let's stay on track. Let's stay on track. So Porsha claims that she felt absolutely betrayed by this because all she wanted was for Dennis to choose her and PJ just this one time. Porsha, PJ has nothing to do with this. Nothing at all to do with this. Why you keep bringing your kid into your mess? It's crazy to me. And we all see through it, girl. Then she tells him about the situation with Angela, right? And she's trying to imitate Angela coming downstairs to the pool and asking who called her Big Bird. And Porsha's like, oh, Angela came down like this, da da da. And again, Porsha is claiming that she doesn't remember saying the comment that we're all talking about, right? So you remember everything that Angela did. You remember everything that Angela said, down to the way that she walked down the stairs. You remember all the tea that you heard, but you don't remember what came out of your mouth. Girl, bye. Girl, bye. Then they show Porsha and she's in her confessional and she's saying, oh my God, who called her Big Bird? That is such a horrible thing to say. Why would anyone call her Big Bird? But in her conversation at home when she's with Diane and Lauren, she's like, yeah, I called her Big Bird. I just wanted to be petty. Girl, I love how production is making sure that we see Porsha's double standards this season and how much she lies this season. Production ain't playing with you, Porsha. They aren't playing with you, okay? So next we see Shamea, and she's catching up with Shadina about her next surrogacy and IVF journey. So today she is meeting Asha, who is her new potential surrogate, just to feel out her vibe, all right? And while she meets Asha, she FaceTimes Gerald so that he can say hi to her. And in Shamea's confessional, she says that all she wants at this point is a healthy baby, right? Because she doesn't know if she can handle what happened with Shiloh a second time. And all of Asha's tests have been done. Everything has come back clear. The final steps is for them to just go through legal. And once they get that paperwork situated, they can get the process started. Obviously, Shamea is very excited, but very nervous. I'm just hoping that everything goes smoothly. And I pray that Asha has a safe pregnancy and delivery if they do decide to move forward. Okay. So child, next we see Angela filling Charles in on what happened in Nashville. Side note, I have to say I love Angela's confessional look with the red dress and the bob. I find it very interesting that both Angela and Tammy Talks came back this week with a bob. Tammy, you could have told me that you and Angela go to the same salon. I thought we were cooler than that. I guess not. Shout out to Tammy Talks. I'm loving her new bob. Okay. So listen, we see Charles and he tells Angela, girl, first of all, how can you invite someone to someone else's birthday party? Okay. And Angela's like, look, my intentions were in the right place. And she also tells Charles, I'm sure you would have done the same thing too. And Charles said, I sure the hell would have not. He's like, no, don't put me in this mess. So then Angela tells him that Porsha had Brit speaking for her. And Charles is like, huh? Her mouth is big enough. She can speak for her damn self. And I'm like, yeah, exactly. All right. So next, Charles tells Angela that she may have been in the wrong for asking Porsha about the street, saying that she took that lady's husband. So next, Angela tells Charles that she also heard the lady saying that he's been messing with the girl in New York. Now, Angela, let me put on my New York voice for you, okay? If you didn't know, I'm from Brooklyn, New York. I am born and raised from Brooklyn, New York. Listen, your boy Charles, he had a comeback for every single thing that you said, except for that. All he did when you said that was a little shrug. That's all he did, okay? Now, I don't know. Maybe it can be editing. Maybe he did respond and said, no, I didn't do that. I don't know. I'm just saying. All he said regarding that comment was, Porsha doesn't know me, so it doesn't matter. We didn't hear him say, Porsha's a damn lie. I didn't do that. I'm not doing that. We didn't hear him say that, okay? All right? But Angela says that Porsha made it seem like Charles is just so easy to and if she wanted to, she could him too. Right? And Charles asks Angela if she believes it, and she says, no, I don't believe it. Of course I don't believe it. But he still does not say that it isn't true. Okay, I love you, Angela, girl. I love you, girl, but I'm just going by what I see, all right? And at the beginning of this scene, when Angela was like, babe, I called you when I was in Nashville, his response was, baby, I was in Tampa. What happened? Now we know that slopehead Ralph used to frequent Tampa. Okay, I don't know. I'm just saying. Anyway, Angela tells him that when she approached Porsha, all she did was deny it and then get up and leave the pool. And she knows that she's about to go into war because the Bailey Q will be the first time that she has seen the ladies since that night. And Charles says, ooh, I wish that I had a ticket for a front row seat to this showdown. All right. So next we are with Dennis, Porsha, and Diane, and they are interviewing an au pair for PJ. And in this scene, we see Dennis pull a chair up to sit next to Porsha in her confessional. I said, not another one. Y'all giving all these dudes confessional time? At least Dennis had a damn shirt on, okay? We see that Porsha has gotten some cake and balloons for her to make her feel welcomed. She says that she's from South Africa and she will be living with her and also spending time at Dennis's home when Dennis has PJ, okay? But her main job will be to take care of PJ. So Porsha got PJ a dog and now a new nanny, right? Now listen, I am all for working smarter and not harder. I'm all for mothers, especially hiring the help that they need if they can afford it to relieve stress, to get more of their time back, whatever they need. So more power to Porsha. But I feel like she's the type to say that she's doing things for PJ when it's really not about PJ. It's about her or it's about something else. That's just the vibe that I've been getting from Porsha, all right? But baby, the way that I was cracking up when they were in their confessional and Dennis leans to Porsha and he's like, well, she gonna come in real handy when you need to sneak out in the middle of the night so that you can do your business when you have company. Dennis is so funny to me. He plays all day. So when the au pair comes over, they talk to her for like 2 seconds. Dennis asks her what she likes to do. She says she likes to read. And he's like, okay, cool. All right. So they send her upstairs with all of her belongings so that she can get settled in the home. So then we see Porsha. She pulls Dennis aside so they can have a little private conversation. And she says instead of starting World War III, she wants to have a calm conversation about what's going on so that they can come to a solution that works best for PJ, right? So when she starts speaking, Dennis is like, are we talking about Drew? Are we talking about the Drew situation? Because she's trying to beat around the bush with it, right? So she does finally tell him that she found out that him and Drew have been filming together. So Porsha's like, you know how I am. Why didn't you tell me? Why did I have to find out from someone else? And in their joint confessional, Dennis says that he didn't plan to film with Drew. He just showed up for a studio session and the cameras happened to be there. All right. So Dennis says, look, Drew isn't even signed to me anymore because of you. I guess that you scared her away. And Porsha's like, well, you and Drew need to take accountability for where y'all relationship is right now. And you told me that she tried to sleep with you. And Dennis was like, huh? What are you talking about? When did I say that? So Porsha pulls up a text message on her phone where Dennis says, all you had to do was say yeah. And that's pretty much it. And Dennis tells her that she misinterpreted the text message. And if someone is messing with Drew, it's not him, right? And Porsha's like, well, who's she messing with? He's like, I don't know. It ain't me. And Dennis is just laughing the entire time. He's so unserious right now because he too knows that this is a bunch of BS and he knows that it's just for the storyline, all right? So Porsha says that she's finally over the entire Drew situation. And I'm like, girl, we heard you say that 6 episodes ago. Stop moving and move, okay? Please move. And then we see them in the confessional. And why does Dennis lean over and try to kiss Porsha? He leans over and tries to kiss Porsha and she jumps back like, boy, what are you doing? I will say that I do think that Porsha and Dennis are great as co-parents. They seem to get along really well. And if they didn't, this whole Drew storyline that they're doing, it wouldn't even work, right? Because the hate would be so strong. So you can tell that they do have a really good relationship. We see them on Instagram and stuff, kikiing it up. I really like seeing them co-parent. All this other mess is just dumb to me, all right? So next, we're with Brit and her sisters. They're packing up her mom's place, and it's bittersweet for her because she's with her sister Cher, and they're seeing all of the pictures of their dad and the family all together during better times, right? And Brit says that she's sad that her mom is selling the home because she really wanted the home to be passed through generations. But Mama says, look, I gotta have a life too. She's like, we gotta sell this house. I gotta get out of here. So we learned that Mama Brit was actually with their dad since she was 17 years old, and Brit just thinks that her mom is ready to have her hoe phase. So apparently Brit's dad had built that house in 2014 for him and his wife to live together, but unfortunately he passed away less than a year after the home was built. So I can definitely understand Brit's mom wanting to move because the original vision for that house was to share it with her husband, and he's no longer here. So it's probably very painful for her to even have to live in that house without him, okay? Child, next we see Cher and her mom. They get into it because Cher is like, how dare you throw away all of my daddy stuff? And Mama Brit was like, well, how dare he leave me? And I was like, ooh, wow. Y'all really do need a good family therapist to help y'all grieve and sort all of this out, because this whole little scene was a lot. Then we see Grandma Brit step in on her dream girls tip, and she's like, when are you two gonna stop all this fighting? She was not playing. She was like, y'all need to cut it out. Stop the bickering. And as if things weren't bad enough, Brit then FaceTimes her older sister Tiara, and Cher starts crying and yelling, and she tells Tiara to stop shutting her out and ignoring her calls just because she's grieving. And Tiara says, look, we all deal with our grief differently. It is what it is. And I'm like, yeah, like I said before, y'all really do need a grief counselor, a family grief counselor, because it's very apparent that the passing of y'all's dad took a huge toll on everyone, okay, on everybody involved. So now we are at Cynthia's Juneteenth Bailey Q, and she asks all of the ladies to wear Juneteenth colors, which are black, yellow, green, and red, since that is the theme. But she said that she had zero faith that the ladies would follow the rules. And to make matters even worse, it's raining and it's thundering outside, so she doesn't even know if everyone is going to make it. So we see her and her prophetess friend, I think her name was Tasha, and she came over, and since Brit was the first person to arrive, she speaks with Brit first. So we see Tasha tell Brit that she's been choosing other people, and now it's time for her to choose herself when it comes to her business. And I'm like, oh my God, as if this woman isn't self-centered enough. That's what you're gonna tell her? That's what you're gonna tell her, Miss me, child. And then in Brit's confessional, she says that she's working on a shapewear line called Naked Something. All I heard was naked. And I'm like, oh, like Porsha's hairline called Go Naked? You are truly a fan, Brit. You are truly, why would you name your business Stalker vibes? So we see Kelly and Angela, they arrive, and when Angela arrives and Tasha goes to give her a hug, she drops something, like something drops on the table and it makes a noise. So then we see Brit and Kelly, and they start laughing and whispering to each other, and they're like, yeah, the prophetess did say that she picks up on energy and vibes and stuff. Girl, shut up. And while they're saying this, we see Angela give them a glance, and she looks at them like, keep trying me. Keep trying me. That's the look that was on her face. So the prophetess tells Kelly that she went through a lot in her marriage, and she asks her what her ex did to the car. And Kelly's like, oh my God. I didn't tell anyone this but Brit, but my ex gave me a G-Wagon for my birthday, and then he took it back. Don't let anyone gift you something that they can take back. Make sure that you have everything that you need in case they want to take you to court over it. You can leave there with your shit, all right? So then we see Shamea. She shows up, and she says that she had to rep her husband because he is from Kenya, and she has her whole dashiki outfit. She looked really nice. Everyone looked really nice, honestly, and thankfully all of the women were in the Juneteenth colors like Cynthia asked. Now it's time for Angela's reading, okay? And she tells her that something is going on with someone around her. Maybe it's a spouse, right? And they need a vacation because something about their relationship is uncomfortable. And Kelly and Brit are like, what's she talking about? And then the prophetess also adds that sometimes women get so consumed with work that they lose their sexy for their man. And Angela takes it in stride. She really does it. She's like, oh, really? Well, let me open up my phone and go order something sexy to wear for Charles from Victoria's Secret. I was like, okay. Angela didn't get too frazzled or defensive by what the prophetess said. She was just like, okay, girl, let me go order something to wear for him. But in her confessional, she says, look, Charles's love language is cleaning this damn house. That's his love language. She says that romance doesn't really go far for him, but they've been married for 10 years and they're good. This is what Angela says. Then Tasha asks, who here has a Porsche? does anyone have a Porsche? And she says that Charles has his eye on something that's like a Porsche. And Shamea says, well, are we talking about a Porsche or are we talking about Porsha? I just had to say it. And Kelly, Brit, and Shamea, they start cracking up like it's the funniest thing in the world. And Cynthia's like, come on, y'all. Stop it, y'all. Cynthia, where the hell did you find this lady? Where did you find this lady? Please let us know. And what did you tell her before she got her ass here? So now it's time for Shamea's reading. And while Tasha is doing it, Kelly, Brit, and Cynthia, they start taking shots, baby. They just throwing them back. And Shamea's like, why are y'all taking shots during my prophecy? And they're like, oh, girl, we sorry. Because they don't respect you. Because they know that you just listen and do whatever Porsha tells you to do. They don't respect you, girl. That's what it is. But I bet if Porsha was there drinking Hennessy, you wouldn't have said a damn thing, Shamea. You would have sat there and listened to the prophet while they took their shots and Porsha drank her damn Hennessy. And speaking of Porsha, we see her finally arrive and Cynthia tells her to sit next to Angela. And when she does, they share a quick hello and that's it. So Tasha tells Porsha that when her divorce is all said and done, her and Simon will be able to be friends. We don't care. Next, we see Drew show up, and Tasha says that she's going to do Drew's reading in private because Drew did not want it done in front of everyone else. And in Porsha's confessional, she has a problem with that. And she's like, I find it so funny that Drew is being so extra because she wants to be able to tell all the lies in public and have the truth be revealed in private. Now, listen. We know that Drew, she does stretch the truth a bit. Okay, we do know that. But Porsha, I find that very rich coming from you because what the hell you be doing? You don't be telling the truth either, Miss Mamas. You really don't. Anyway, after Tosh finally leaves, Kelly asks Angela how she's been. And Angela says she's been okay, but she's in need of a good vibe. Here goes Brit yelling from across the couch because ain't nobody was speaking to her. No one was speaking to her. And she's like, Angela, you received the vibe that you give. Maybe there was some truth to what the prophet has said. Girl, nobody was speaking to you. See what happens when you're so thirsty to be included in a conversation that you put yourself in it when ain't nobody was speaking to you? Let's go. So Angela calmly says, you seem to have something on your chest that you want to say. Let's talk about it. I was like, let's, okay? So Brit thinks that she's being funny by quoting Chris Tucker from Rush Hour. And she says, can you not understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? Like, can you not understand it? Angela's like, oh, Brit, please calm down with that big ass mouth. I can definitely understand what's coming out of it, all right? So Brit says, well, it sounds like you need to use that mouth more often. She thought she ate. And Angela, baby Angela was like, oh, I do? Well, not as much as yours with the stretch marks around it. You got miles on your mouth. I loved it. Angela came back so quick. I was like, yes, Angela, this is what we need. And child, Brit was so bothered that she got up out of her seat and she's like, where do I have stretch marks? Show me. Cynthia had to hold her back. Shamea's face had me cracking up the entire time. Listen, I loved everything about this scene because Brit, once again, no one was speaking to you. Absolutely no one. You wanted it and now you got it. So Angela tells Brit that she's a whore. I have to say, I love the difference between the word hoe and whore. Whore just hits differently, okay? Someone call you a hoe, it's like, okay, whatever. Someone calls you a whore, oh, baby. Oh, baby, that's a big deal. And another thing that I want to say, you see these comments that Angela is making towards Brit? This is all Kenya had to do. This is all that Kenya had to do. All Kenya had to say was, girl, I got pictures of you with a whole in your mouth. You can't say shit to me. Just shade her ass every single time that she tried to be funny. She didn't have to show the pictures at her event. Kenya, you didn't have to show the pictures. And can you imagine Kenya paying Brit absolute dust all season and only speaking to her to shade her about those pictures? Do you know how crazy that would have driven Brit? Imagine Kenya coming into every scene, completely ignoring Brit, hugging everybody else, right? And the only time that she would address Brit is to shade her back. I wish that she did that because Kenya would still be here and Brit would be losing her damn mind. But obviously that is not what happened. Anyway, when these two start going at it, Cynthia gets up. She's like, wait, no. I don't want y'all to be arguing like this. And Brit tells Angela to be a whore in the bedroom if she wants to keep her man. Brit, for all of the whoring that you say that you do in the bedroom, your husband doesn't even act like he likes to be around you. He don't even like you like that, girl. Anyway, we see Drew. She gets up and she leaves the conversation and she says that she needs to be out of that so that she can protect her energy, and I love that for her. Meanwhile, the ladies are still going back and forth, and Angela tells Brit to revisit her marriage, and Brit says that Charles hasn't even acknowledged that they've been married for 10 years. Angela says, well, the world knows, and Brit says, well, does the world know about that baby? Does the world know about that baby? And here go Kelly like a damn parrot talking about, does the world know about that baby though? Does the world know? See, I told y'all in a previous review, I have a love and hate relationship with Kelly. One episode, I love her like the last episode, and this episode, can't stand her. Cannot stand her in this episode. I'm not feeling her right now at all. And Angela says, well, if there's a baby, where's the baby? Where are the receipts? And at that point, we see Cynthia. She gets up and she rings the damn cowbell to end the conversation and to move things along. So she has a little Juneteenth trivia session, and then they get some food. And when the ladies come back to the couch, they sit down, and Angela says that they still have some issues to discuss. So Cynthia summons Angela and Porsha to talk in private and to sort everything out. So Angela starts by saying that they were cool. Everything was cool in the beginning in Nashville. But as the night progressed, she says that she began to feel attacked. Porsha says that from her point of view, although Angela knew that she didn't want Drew there, she invited her anyway, but the situation is no longer about Drew. So Angela asks Porsha to clarify what she heard at the pool. Porsha claims that they were having an after party, and she asks the ladies why Angela always brings up her husband, Charles. So Angela's like, okay, let's get to what you said. When she calls Porsha out about what she said regarding Charles, Porsha's like, girl, no, I didn't say that. I did not say that, but Angela insists that she heard it. This lady knows what she heard, Porsha. Wasn't it you in last week's episode saying that you don't want people to gaslight you and Angela's always playing the victim? What are you doing right now? What do you call that? What do you call that? Anyway, Porsha says, girl, your ass was supposed to be asleep. And child, when Porsha said that, all I could think about was that scene from Basketball Wives when Tammy Roman snatched Evelyn up after she said that she was a non-motherfucking factor. That is all I could think about because, baby, the way that Porsha is playing in Angela's face, if Angela snatched Porsha up, I wouldn't even be mad. I wouldn't. I really wouldn't because, girl, now you're insulting this grown-ass woman's intelligence, all right? So in Porsha's confessional, she says, maybe I shouldn't have said it. Or maybe I should have said it. It was just a kiki with my friends. It was just a kiki. Okay, cool. Don't get mad if Drew jokes about kikiing on Dennis's. Don't get mad if it's a kiki. Keep the same energy, right? Keep the same energy. And in her confessional, she calls Angela Dumbo with some big ears listening to everything. Porsha, that was corny. That was corny. And then in her confessional, we see her give a passive-aggressive ass apology, talking about, okay, it was very inappropriate of me to be having so much fun with my friends. That's all I was doing, having fun with my friends. Girl, whatever. So then Cynthia comes back into the room to see if the ladies have made any progress. And Porsha says, well, Angela still hasn't apologized to me. Cynthia's like, well, girl, you're the one who made a comment about her husband. And Porsha's like, well, she made one about mine too. She made one about mine as well. And in that moment, I was like, hold on, refresh my memory because I don't remember Angela saying anything about Simon, right? I was drawing a blank. And then I was like, it better not be the comment that Angela made about Porsha stealing Simon. That can't be the comment because these are different things. The whole world been saying that, girl. And on top of that, if that's the case, did you ask Kelly for an apology? Because, baby, that was the very first question that she asked you upon meeting you. So anyway, Angela actually apologizes to Porsha. She says, girl, I am sorry for the comment I made. When I tell you, I would have not apologized for that because that's something that actually happened, right? This is a situation that actually happened. You saying that you're going to F someone's husband is completely different, Porsha. And even after that, when Angela apologizes and it's Porsha's turn to apologize, all Porsha says is ditto, ditto. And Angela starts laughing. And then Porsha says, if I offended you about your husband, that was not my intent and I would like to move forward. I didn't hear a sorry. I didn't hear a I apologize. And Angela actually accepts this apology and they hug it out. Angela, baby, that was not an apology. That was not an apology. She didn't even admit to what she said. She didn't even admit to what she said. And then she threw that word if in the apology. There is no if, Porsha. She already told you that you offended her. So the apology should be for the actual words that you said because it's already been established that you offended her. Hello? And I also feel like Angela was doing a bit too much smiling and laughing in this conversation. She really was. I wish that she was more serious to really make it clear to Porsha and to everyone else, girl, don't play with me like that. Don't play with me at all, okay? But that's not what happened. So next we see Cynthia. She dismisses Porsha and she brings Shamea in for her and Angela to discuss the text message that Angela sent to Shamea earlier. So Shamea says, look, I don't understand what part I play in this, okay? I don't understand how I made you feel any kind of way. And Angela says that she was looking to Shamea as a fellow married woman to check her friend Porsha. But Shamea does what Shamea gonna do all the time, and she makes excuses for Porsha. And she's like, well, she was just talking shit, you know? And I'm not saying that it's okay, but it's not my fight. It's what do you want me to do? It's not my fight. And I don't want to talk about Porsha. I only want to talk about my part in it. Let's not talk about Porsha. So Angela's like, okay, well, your part in it is that you sat there and you kikied with her when she said it. And Shamea's like, look, I love to laugh. I laugh at everything. I laugh at everyone. Laughter is good for the soul. I even laughed at my uncle's funeral because of the way that he was dressed. They dressed him like a pastor and he's never even been to church before. It was so funny. And child, when she said that, Angela was like, okay, we can just end the conversation here because clearly it's not going to get anywhere. And they agreed to disagree and they end this conversation. And in Shamea's confessional, she's like, Angela, okay, I'm sorry. Why couldn't you just say that to her face, Shamea? During the conversation, all you did was make excuses. It's really sad because when this season started off, Shamea was like that girl, right? I was like, yes, Shamea, she's such a great addition. She's such a boss. But as the episodes progress, she really is just Porsha's lapdog. And it's really sad to see because she's getting very annoying at this point. How are you and someone really friends if you can't keep it real? You can't keep it real. And it would be one thing if we saw Shamea keep it real with Porsha in private, right? But they keep a united front when they're speaking to others. We don't even see Shamea do that. She doesn't even stand up to Porsha when she's just speaking to Porsha. I hate it for her. I really do. So while these conversations were going on, we saw Brit and Kelly. They were outside talking more shit about Angela, saying that she's trying to overcompensate for the deep issues that she's having with her marriage. So now is Angela and her marriage about to be everyone else's storyline? Angela, you really that girl. You really that girl. When I tell you, I cannot wait for Brit and Kelly to fall out though. I really can't. But child, that was the end of episode 9. And they do show us a preview of what's to come. And my girls are going to Grenada. They're going to Grenada, my island, the island of spice. So for those of you who don't know, my mom was born in Grenada, but she grew up in Trinidad. So she does rep both. Okay, she does rep both. But I am so excited to see the ladies visiting my beautiful island. So excited. We also see that Phaedra is going to be joining. We see Charles getting into it with some people. It really looks like the season is going to be good. The rest of the season is going to be good, and I'm really excited for it. Tell me all of your thoughts about this episode. Tell me all of your predictions. We are so close to 35K. Don't forget to hit like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and I cannot wait to see you in my next video. Bye!
Roxiie says we're gonna